Imagine a beautiful young girl, the peak of beauty. Now imagine her dying and sick and oozing and bloated. Do you see the dangers of beauty now? Buddhism. What do you know about Buddhism? For me, it was monks, meditation, Zen, calm, nirvana, mindfulness meditations, notice impulses in you and thoughts. Okay, maybe I'm somewhat familiar with Buddhism. So when I picked up the book In the Buddha's Words, I read In the Buddha's Words in February. How did I get that idea? I thought I wouldn't be too surprised, but then turns out it's a suicide death cult of hating all life and wanting to not destroy, that would be action and activity, but like a non-action, non-activity, do nothing, just finally die death cult. And not the fun kind of death cult. Okay, calm, little flickering off of the flame of life. The flame and torch that Prometheus carried down from Olympus and gave to humanity to do artistic greatness as the gods have, and take that, humans, and you can near them in your works and your art and your plays and your literature. And Buddha's like, nah, all of that is pleasure and pleasure is suffering, so just like sit and do nothing until you finally die. Quick Buddhism recap. Ultimate goal, nirvana. Stop your infinite rebirth cycle, aka infinite suffering cycle, by releasing from all pleasures, all attachments, as a celibate, non-working monk. No more suffering of creation. After this life, you die completely, because life is suffering and you should strive to end it. Not every Buddhist is ready to go for monkhood and nirvana in this lifetime, so what do the lay followers do? Collect good karma for better rebirths by exhaustive list, giving, aka donate to the Buddha and his non-working pals, moral discipline, sexual discipline, and try not to eat meat, and don't lust, and don't crave, the Buddhism things, and develop meditation. This merit concept is crazy weird. In this lifetime, you shouldn't appreciate or strive for beauty and fame and strength, but to motivate acts of merit, Buddha literally teases you with beauty and fame and strength in next lifetimes, if you do acts of merit. The greatest being, donate to Buddha. How is this not a scam? In this life, you, the lay follower, are allowed 4 happinesses, exhaustive list. These possessions I rightly earned. So, small happy that your farming brought you some money. These rightly earned possessions I rightly spent. I spent the money morally, shared it. I have no debt. Yay! And blamelessness. In the allowed happinesses, there is no greatness, no uniqueness, no achievements. I know why, because those lead to suffering. But result is anti-life. A world of a uniform grey mass of beta-cuck farmers with no ambition. And finally, what would happen if suddenly the whole world tried really hard to be the best Buddhist that they could be? No kids, no work, no building, no farming. Everyone would peacefully die with empty alms bowls in their hands. And there would finally be no suffering in the world. So, I'm a dancer. And many of the most beautiful moments that I've had in life have been related to dance. And the bigger the concert and the first solos and the wildest crowd reactions, all of them do come with pain afterwards. It's like a crash from your high, it's the withdrawal. And nowadays we know to explain it with dopamine, and Anna Lemke, how she talks about the higher the highs, the lower the lows, and your body wants to be in equilibrium, so you can't really trick it. If you felt good, you will feel equally bad for the same area. It can be of a different shape though. And then Buddhism would be like, see each and every of the moments you deemed beautiful. What did it have on the other side? Suffering of at least equal size. Do you now see the danger in dance beauty? And I would be like, it's worth it, bitch. I didn't come here to this world to be a grey, painless blob of inaction. I'm here to burn and shine. When people forget romance, I'll be Cupid. When they need their roots, I'll dance pagan. And after each time, I'll go home and try to gather and get ready for whatever's next. What Buddhism could have been is that suffering is a thing. How do you go about handling it? That all attachments cause suffering, so choose your attachments wisely. Do you want to suffer for your garments? Probably not. Do you want to suffer for your kids and family? Yeah, that's a worthy cause. I don't know. When I have all the answers, I'll make my own cult and tell you. But my answer definitely won't be an anti-human call to do and create nothing. The cult will be of life, of creation, of beauty and greatness, that we are not here to simply exist. We're here to see what we're capable of, each individually or maybe as a collective instead. I like the Promethean ideology of taking the gift of fire and seeing what greatest arts and creations we as a civilization can come up with. So each person would either be the creator or the thousands that support him. But I also think there might be something about each person still looking for their own individual greatness. Even if on a civilization scale you look like a supporter, you know that each Sunday you slay as a Go teacher for your local primary school, you know? That just because you personally aren't putting civilizations among the stars, that doesn't allow you to resign to inaction as an unenthusiastic supporter. That whatever your place, you find your own little version of greatness. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die. For the harder I work, the more I live. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch, which I have got hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. George Bernard Shaw. And there is role for meditation and mental clarity in that. I just think that when you've reached that, or when you've somewhat connected with it, you take that peace and calmness, that Shiva, that nothingness, that infinity, you take that as a backbone for strong action in this world. You share that gift with others who aren't able to have that same backbone. You are the infinite calm presence while you do and create and build things. I don't agree that just because a rose wilts, just because a beautiful girl eventually can get sick and bloated and die and ooze, just because songs and dances have endings, I don't accept that as a reason to withdraw from beauty completely. I think the impermanence of life makes it worthy and beautiful. I think you can enjoy the beautiful things in life and partake in creating more of them. So, for all of you who read In the Buddha's Words this February, this is a video to tell you that please don't. Don't resign to non-action. Read on, because later there'll be like Nietche and stuff, so that should probably help. You know, Ubermensch, I think that's like a nice contradiction to this resignation. All right, let's work together to create big, beautiful things. Love y'all. I have some little conspiracies of what might have been the idea behind all this, which are definitely conspiracies. I haven't researched them enough. I've only read this one single book. But the fact that the perfectly enlightened one realizes that there is suddenly no rebirths anymore for him makes it seem like the ultimate truth is that this is it and there is nothing after this. So maybe the rebirth stories are only there to tame and calm the masses who cannot yet deal with impermanence. And if that sounds strange to you, like, how can you not be able to deal with the fact that you die? You've seen everyone dying, you kind of know it. Well, you say that, but there are a lot of people that are uncomfortable with death and like almost panically scared of death. So it could be reasonable to assume that just some smart people like the Buddha would realize that the masses aren't ready for this life being the only one and there being nothing after it, and that it's more calming for them to have the stories of rebirths and infinite attempts at finally reaching nirvana to alleviate the pressure. But the perfectly enlightened ones know that this is their final life, as it is for everyone else. Another one would be that the ultimate goal that he touts and the ultimate lifestyle isn't actually meant to be lived. That it is a hyperbole where no one's actually supposed to be completely celibate and never appreciate any beauty and never sing and never dance, but that actually the point is to only do those things once a month, as he suggests for lay followers, and that the ultimate monk lifestyle isn't a real goal, but only a symbolic one, that they are teachers and mental explorers who see what effects different acts of the mind have, and then they relay the useful things in these stories that use hyperbole. But there's a problem with the second conspiracy, where repeatedly throughout, Buddha says that halfway there ain't jack. If you're going for heartwood and you've gotten the branches and you go back happy, then you failed at getting heartwood. That none of the concentration or the clarity or any of the intermediary steps, none of them are the goal, and none of them are good enough, and you should be happy with none of them unless you get the final thing as well. That's like explicitly stated. And even if you somehow dismiss that, I wouldn't want my mental teachers to be lying so fundamentally. I would want mental explorers that check the limits of the brain and mind, and then they come back to the regular workers or farmers and artists, and they share how their ailments can be solved with the methods of meditation and the likes, but without pretending that that is for some weird ultimate nirvana reason after an infinite amount of lifetimes, but genuinely saying, I am a mental explorer, a professional meditator, I can help you be better at your life by sharing some of the specialties I know. But that's not what they do. But then,